Are you looking for an easy way to analyze and spy on your competitors and their marketing efforts? Then this video right here will be the best video for you to watch, as we'll be taking a look at AdClarity, a software from SEMrush which lets you analyze your competitors, look at what they're doing in terms of their marketing efforts, and you can even see what ads they're running, how much they're spending on each individual ad and on each individual campaign, so you can learn from your winning competitors and try to implement that in your marketing campaigns. So with that being said, let's just jump into today's tutorial, and keep in mind I'm a little bit sick, so hopefully you can bear with me throughout this tutorial. But in this video, I'll show you everything you need to know about AdClarity, how to use the tool, and how to get started. So with that being said, let's just jump into today's video, and hopefully you guys do enjoy. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is make sure we head over to SEMrush and AdClarity. I'll leave a link in the video description, which you can use, and it's going to be an affiliate link. So if you do sign up using my link, I will get a commission. But with that being said, once we are on this page right here, we obviously just go to app, and this way we'll open the tool itself. Once we are in the tool, you can see AdClarity, advertising intelligence. So we'll be so intelligent while we are using this tool. And what I've done already is I've played around with Wix and Webflow. And actually, this is the example I want to use today. So what we're going to do is, once you load up the tool, you will have the option to search for an advertiser, publisher, or campaign. Now, in your case, what you want to look at is obviously going to be something related to your competitors. So maybe you are a startup selling gym clothes, then obviously Gymshark, and there's a bunch of other competitors that you might want to analyze. So what you would do is just basically search for that brand directly here in the search box, and then you select the brand you want to look at. Now, in my case, I want to look at Wix. So Wix is a tool which lets you build websites. So why don't we just jump in? Or actually, you know what? We can look at Gymshark. Let's look at Gymshark. So let's just go over to Gymshark. You just click the one you want to look at. You can also search by advertising and keywords and groups, and you can do comparisons. So there's a lot more to it as well. But we'll just start up very simply here, and make sure to remember that you have to look at your competitors. Don't look at what I'm looking at here, because it's not going to be relevant to you at all. Now, you can add more competitors in here as well, but I'm just going to start with Gymshark. I'm happy with that. So after I've selected Gymshark, I just go ahead and click submit. And once we click submit, we'll have a bunch of data on what Gymshark is doing in the last 12 months. So we have an estimated expenditure. So they have about 1.4 billion impressions in the last 12 months. And that is up 0.14% month over month, or period over period. So it'll be the last 12 months before that, so year on year. We can also look at different markets. So now we're looking at the US. So this is only for the US. So Gymshark in the US. Their expenditure is about $9.2 million over the period. And this, again, is only in the US. We can see their ad type distribution. So we can see that they're spending a majority of their money on social, which is to no surprise. It is a company which had all of their success, or majority of their success, thanks to social media. They also have some on video, which is most likely going to be TikTok and YouTube probably. And then they have some brand advertising, which is about 3% of their total spend. Ad buying methods, we have programmatic, which is 98%. Programmatic is the most common one across all companies in most cases. We have direct at 1.34, and we have an ad network on 0.57. So that's all cool. But if we keep going down, we'll have some additional insights here as well. So this is going to be the last 12 months, and we can see the general trend. We can see that the company was spending a lot in August and September last year, and then it was slowing down during the fall. And they did some additional marketing. Let's see, November, this is probably like Black Friday, I'm guessing is around here somewhere. And then obviously they started in January again, which they're a gym brand and people make their promises that they're going to start going to the gym in January. So That is most likely the reason here. So you can kind of make some assumptions here on why they're doing certain things. And then obviously in summer, you can see that they're obviously spending a lot more in the summer months, most likely due to people just exercising more in the summer. I have no idea. I'm just making assumptions here. But imagine this is your competitor, you would know at least some more industry standard things. But with that being said, that will give us some insights on perhaps when it is the best time to advertise and so forth. If we go down, we have advertiser expenditure breakdown. So we can see again, we have display, video, and social. Distribution, display is 78%, video 20%, and social 0.5%. And you can also see their spend over here. So they're obviously spending the most on video, and then they're spending the least on, no, actually they're spending the most on social, and then they're spending the least on display. Going down, we'll have their top ads. So this is, I think, or at least my favorite part of this tool. Usually you would have to go into Facebook ads library, or you would have to try to dig out these ads to figure out, okay, what are my competitors doing in terms of their ad creatives? Because this will give you a lot of good ideas on what you could be doing in terms of structuring your overall ads. So right here we'll have the top performing ads, and without having to do our own A/B testing, we can get a good idea of what we should be doing with our ad creatives. The first one right here is a video, which they've spent, I think, the most on in terms of, or at least they received most impressions. So we can actually preview the ad right here. And I think AdClarity is having some issues at the moment, so it's hard to play the video here. But what we can do, we can also export it directly. And I'll mention it here as well. You can export all of these ads. So you can export them and just have them on your desktop directly. But I want to see this video, so I'm just going to export the video. And then we'll play it. But yeah, normally you would be able to play the ad here directly in the platform as well. And while this is loading, we can look at some of the additional stuff. We have the dimensions for the ad. We have the scene. So this has been running since March of 2023. And we can see the top platforms they're running this ad. So they're obviously doing the most on YouTube. And then they have ESPN, something I've never heard about in my life. And then they have some additional ones, NBA and so forth. So you can obviously, they're targeting a lot of these sports networks as well as YouTube. So obviously they're trying to reach their audience, which is going to be people who are interested in exercising or at least fashion in some sort. But I got the video right here, so I'll just open it up. So as you can see right here, this will give us a good idea on what is performing well for Gymshark, and we can kind of try to replicate this. And this is a very, very simple ad. It's not very complicated. It doesn't really have any lifestyle videos or anything. It's just product pictures, and then they're moving around the screen to kind of grab people's attention. And then obviously you can kind of see what we have in the beginning. So it's obviously moving pretty fast, and then you can listen to the music, which you can't hear right now, but you can kind of get an idea of what you should be doing as well. So going back into AdClarity again, this obviously is my favorite, but what you can do as well is go to the campaign landing page as well. So if we click right here, we'll open up the landing page which Gymshark is pushing their traffic towards. So obviously they're just pushing these people to see a collection which is called Rest Days. A collection called Rest Day. So they're probably trying to push some sort of rest day narrative where you should take a rest day or whatever. And you can kind of see how this page is structured. Now, as this is a gym brand or a clothing brand, most landing pages will just be like category pages, which are not super interesting. But if you're looking at a software company, for example, or a video game company, or a cooking or a restaurant, whatever it is, you will see some variations in terms of landing pages. But most of the cases, if you are a clothing brand or just an e-commerce brand, you will just push your ads towards category pages or product specific pages. So not really that exciting, but at least it will give you an idea of what they're pushing. Going back into AdClarity again, you can click here to see the full campaign report. We're not going to do that. We'll just close this down. Again, you have all the ads right here. So if you want to analyze more, you can see there's some more videos over here. You can even sort it by videos only, for example. So we can hide the videos and hide social ads. So now we only have video ads right here. So this will give you an idea what people are doing in terms of their video ads. And if you only want to look at what they're doing in terms of their social ads, we can look right here. So this is going to be like their Facebook ads or their Instagram ads. So you have all of them right here. Looks pretty standard. And then if you only want to look at their banner ads, we can again just analyze it. And then we have the banner ads right here. So that's awesome. That will give you a lot of things to look at in terms of ad creatives and getting some ideas on what you can be doing with your own ads. Moving down from the top ads section, we have top campaigns. So in this section, you will essentially just have the top campaigns which Gymshark is running. So we'll have the channels these campaigns are running for, we have the impressions, and then we have the spend for each one. You have the publishers first seen, so how long they've been running these ads. And if you click onto them, you can get more additional details, but we don't really need to look at that because it's very straightforward. So if you just click here, you will open up a page where you can see more details specifically about this campaign. Moving down again, we have top publishers and apps. So you can see that they're running majority of their ads on Facebook, and then they have Instagram, YouTube. So it's very standard. USA Today, I haven't seen USA Today before. So that's interesting. So you can kind of get an idea of where they are running their ads, and obviously get an idea of, okay, where should I be spending my money? Because Gymshark, obviously, they wouldn't be spending $6.4 million on Facebook if the ads were not performing well. That's the basics of it. Usually you try a platform, you spend a little bit of money, and then you would increase it slowly as your performance goes up. And if they're spending $6.4 million in the last 12 months only in the US, Facebook is one of their driving platforms for their paid traffic in general. Moving down again, we have ad buying methods. So programmatic ad network, programmatic direct, ad network, and direct. Going back all the way to the top again, what we can do is that we can compare Gymshark to another company, or we can also look at how Gymshark is doing in another country. And we can do this real quick because I know Gymshark is from the UK, so we can look at how they're doing in the UK. And obviously the UK is a smaller market, so they're spending a lot less money and they have a lot less impressions. But this will kind of give you an idea of how they're doing in different markets. And now if you're looking at your competitors, you obviously want to make sure you're looking at the right market as well, the market you are active in, to get an accurate picture of what you should be doing. But let's compare real quick. We can look at Nike here. So let's see what Nike is doing. Now this is going to be such a huge difference, I believe, because I believe Nike should be spending a lot more. But I could be wrong because Gymshark is such a mess. Oh yeah, and I was totally correct. Gymshark is way below. But yeah, you can compare brands directly and you can get an overview. So the expenditure trends, you can kind of analyze and see the differences between them. You can see their expenditure breakdown by channel. So you can see here that Gymshark is obviously spending a lot more on social in comparison to Nike in this case, a lot less on display advertising, and fairly similar on video advertising. So this will give you an idea again on how these two companies are allocating their advertising. And you can do it by spend, publisher, and creatives as well. And then you'll have, again, the top ads. You'll have the top ones for Nike as well. And obviously Nike is spending a lot more on these lifestyle videos, looks like. Top campaigns by both companies. And again, you can look at the top publishers and apps. You can see that Facebook is going to be the biggest one, even for Nike as well. Second one, Instagram. This is just basics at this point because obviously Instagram and Facebook has been the top platforms for a while now. And then we have some Twitter in here. And it looks like Nike is actually spending a lot more on Twitter than Gymshark is doing, which is interesting. And then you have YouTube and YouTube again. And finally, you have ad buying methods, and you can do it by impressions and spend. And all of these things can be exported directly, so you can play around with the data. You can just pull it into Excel or your Google Data Studio and just build a platform yourself with the data that you have available within AdClarity. So this would be perfect if you're working for an agency, for example, or if you're working for a larger company. Then obviously these tools are perfect. And even if you are a smaller company, obviously you can use these tools to analyze the bigger competitors, to see kind of what you should be doing with your ad creatives overall. But that is going to be the end of today's video. If you have any feedback on today's video, feel free to leave them in the comments. And again, I apologize for being sick. I know my voice is a bit rusty at the moment, but hopefully you guys were able to understand me clearly throughout this tutorial. But yeah, if you have any questions or if you need any help with anything, leave it in the comments as I try to answer as many comments as I can. But that is, once again, it for today's video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.